what if Kenenisa Bekele this past September had broken Kipchoge's world record in Berlin? He was only 2 seconds away. How would we view each athlete differently?
We would.
I think I think I can say we would still view Kipchoge. Yeah, we would still view Kipchoge as the best of all time. Obviously, he followed up a month later, not even a month later, a few weeks later, and ran 1:59.40 in an exhibition. But there would be, speaking of asterisk, there'd be a little caveat, I think, in any blurb you write about Kipchoge, in being that he's the greatest of all time, he's the fastest man ever. Of course, in real record terms and legal record terms, Kenenisa Bekele is the world record holder. So that's how there'd have to be additional addendums in everything written about it. Any article story about Kipchoge, you would find a mention of Kenenisa Bekele, I think, as the world record holder. So he would be floating much closer to the orbit of Eliud Kipchoge if he had broken that record. I wondered if the shoe takes would be even hotter at that point. They were already pretty scorching hot at the time track stopped in the wake of, Nike releasing the Alphafly and Kosgei smashing the women's world record. But I wonder if, that would be a thing mentioned in. It's like, these shoes are so ridiculous that even Kenenisa Bekele, who's clearly inferior to Kipchoge, can break his world record. So I think there would be, the takes in all these scenarios, if they went the other way, the takes would be scorching hot and there would all be this debate. But I do think there would be some level of uncertainty around Kipchoge. He still would be the greatest of all time, but there wouldn't be quite this firm, definitiveness about his absolute greatness if Bekele had run just 3 seconds faster.
Yeah, and I also think if Bekele runs 3 seconds faster in that race, it would make the Breaking 2 event and the Ineos 159 event just feel super, super artificial. Obviously we know that they don't count because there's pacers, but in some way we would just look at those events as just circus acts. Because we'll be like, who cares how fast he runs here? He's not the fastest. You need to run faster on a real course because that's what Bekele did. And I just think it would make these, even though we know it's not an official record, when I was watching those two 159 attempts, I was like, he ran 159, right? I didn't put a caveat on it because I was like, I don't care because he's already and the reason why I didn't care is because he was already the fastest without the caveats, right? And so I kind of gave him the benefit of the doubt that the caveats don't matter because without him, he still would be the fastest all time. But now, if there was a person who was faster than him with all the regulations in a race, these caveats of pacers, of a perfect flat course, of the perfect weather, all this stuff would be like, oh, maybe that's only why he's fast, and you would you just start questioning his sub 2 attempts, and you start questioning hey, you'd have thoughts of oh, he's going to run 2 of these fake marathons. Why does he just run 2 real marathons and run faster than what Bekele does? I just think there would just be that, like you said, that weird caveat that Bekele always has to be mentioned in every paragraph you write about Kipchoge now.
Yeah.
And Kipchoge still has the resume to say that you're the greatest of all time. No one's going to take that away from him. But it would make these Breaking 2 events feel more fake, even though I don't think they're fake at all because I think he's running 26.2 miles in 2 hours exactly. I don't think, the pacing with the laser pacing is really that big of a difference because, you still have to move your body that distance in that time, no matter how great a pacing you have. You still have to do the work yourself. But
I don't know about that.
I do think,
yeah, okay.
I don't know. I just think that you can give me pacers and I'm not going to run faster. You still got to do the work,
I don't know. Let's try it out. I just got a green laser installed in my Volvo. Maybe we'll stick it on 8-minute pace and see how long you can hang. So you're saying people would be yelling at Kipchoge and being like, "You're a fake loser. You can only run 159 in a science experiment. You're not even the world record holder." We'd be like, there'd be no GQ shoots.
Correct.
He would not have 1 million followers on Instagram. He would not look really cool in a robe. And would we be calling him the greatest of all time? I mean, you're just like, these 3 seconds hold a lot of weight for you. He'd be a fraud.
They'll call him. He'd be a fraud.
Speaking of
like,
which, another documentary
circus events
to Netflix. Another documentary coming to Netflix, Eliud Kipchoge, the fraud that never was.
But that's what they would. Yeah. They're like, hey, man, run fast at a race that matters, not these fake circus races that are paid for by Ineos and Nike. I mean, I'm using hyperbolic statements, but I think that, there would be an asterisk. The asterisk is already on those 2 races, but that asterisk would be in bold print now as opposed to italic print because of there's another guy out there who literally has the world record. And you can run 159 all you want in Vienna, but you're not the world record holder, right? That's what people would say. So it's like,
that's
cool.
What people would
say. You keep on bragging about your relay split in the 4x8. Why don't you go out and run an actual open 800 and tell me what you really can run?
Hadn't thought about that in the context of a 4x8. As I think Kevin said this in last week's podcast at some point, he's like, the 2 or 3 seconds between the 2 world records is nothing and everything, because it's nothing because it's the difference between, over the course of the race, handling your water bottles more or less efficiently. And it's everything in the sense that Kipchoge's name is, he's still the unquestioned best ever, and he's got all the important records, and he's also run 159. Yeah, you'd have to defend Kipchoge a little more. You couldn't just say he's the best ever, because somebody could easily come in and say, but Kenenisa Bekele's got the marathon world record, and look at what he did on the track. The dude ran 12:37. He ran 26:17. He was a monster on the track in the way that Kipchoge wasn't quite. And he's a faster marathon on a regulation course. We can do fake races all day long. You can be the record holder of running the mile around your couch, and you're not the mile world record holder, in the same way that you're not the marathon world record holder when you get a $1 billion corporation to make you a few lasers and to hand you water and to make, repave a course. I think some of those takes would be wrong, but we would be spinning ourselves in a blender over this over and over and over again. But in this world that we live in now, we can just enjoy Eliud Kipchoge GQ shoots, knowing he's the greatest of all time, and laughing about it, and still kind of wondering when Bekele is if ever, is going to be able to beat him in the marathon. So those 3 seconds, they hold a ton of weight.
And I think it would have made people think, again, imagine this world where Bekele has the world record. I think people would start thinking that maybe it was Eliud Kipchoge's team that started this virus in order to get London canceled, so you didn't have to go up against Bekele to lose. I'm just saying. But what I'm trying to say.
I was just going to say, I was going to pretend I was going to ignore what you just said, but yeah, go ahead.
But I'm just saying, it would have made the postponement of this London Marathon hit even more, because we would have been itching to actually see them race each other even more. We already are, but if Bekele is the world record holder, that makes that race matchup even more intriguing.
Absolutely. Yeah. Again, those seconds are very, very important. And yes, I think so. Maybe conspiracy theories, although I'm just going to, again, ignore that.